The Philippines, an archipelago with more than 7,600 islands, rich marine resources, and some of the most contested waters in the world. And yet, it lacks one of the most powerful tools of maritime defense, a submarine. The West Philippine Sea, a vast maritime frontier filled with rich resources, critical trade routes, and rising tensions. As neighboring powers like China expand their presence above and below the waves, one hard truth remains. The Chinese Navy continues its aggressive maneuvers in the West Philippine Sea, and as underwater probes suspected to be of Chinese origin are discovered within Philippine waters. The Philippines still has no submarine. And in a world where underwater warfare is becoming just as important as what happens on the surface, this gap in capability could be a strategic risk. But recently, Defense Secretary Gilberto Teodoro made a statement that stirred debate. In the absence of submarines, he says alternate or substitute capabilities will do for now. Stay with us until the end, because the most critical battle for Philippine sovereignty might be the one happening underwater. This is Pinoy Guard, keeping watch on Philippine defense. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more updates like this. Welcome back to Pinoy Guard, where we break down the Philippines' defense developments with clarity, context, and critical insight. In a recent podcast with maritime security expert Ray Powell, Teodoro acknowledged what many already know. The Philippines needs submarines, but just not immediately. According to him, the current focus is on protecting our exclusive economic zone, or EEZ, an area that requires presence, monitoring, and deterrence, but not necessarily deep-sea capabilities yet. Teodoro's words were clear. In the area of operations that we have in our EEZ, perhaps alternate or substitute capabilities will do. But he didn't dismiss the long-term need. In fact, he went further, saying that when the Philippine Navy evolves into an expeditionary securing force, submarines will be essential, especially to protect supply chains and escort merchant vessels across contested waters. This shows a clear understanding of both short-term constraints and long-term maritime strategy. But what exactly are these substitute capabilities Teodoro refers to? The Philippine Navy is beginning to integrate unmanned technologies as a stopgap. One of the standout assets currently in service is the T-12 Manta unmanned surface vessel, a small, fast craft designed for intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance, or ISR missions. According to Marine Captain Joshua Estrada, the Navy now operates 4 T-12 USVs, and more are on the way. These vessels are non-crewed, meaning zero risk to personnel, and they can perform routine patrols, detect threats, and even carry limited electronic payloads. Former U.S. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin III personally endorsed this capability during his visit to the Western Command in Palawan, confirming that Washington will supply additional T-12s under its 29.3 billion peso foreign military financing program. While these unmanned systems lack firepower or long-range strike capabilities, they do something very important. They keep watch, silently, persistently, and without fatigue. But are these enough? Even Teodoro knows they're not a perfect replacement. According to Ray Powell, the T-12s are a good first step, but they're not the finish line. In his words, they have some limited submersible capabilities, but the Philippines will eventually need a much more robust undersea force to detect, monitor, and hold at risk China's manned and unmanned submarines. Powell's concern is based on one simple truth. You can't deter what you can't see, and without sonar-equipped manned submarines, our undersea visibility is still extremely limited. These unmanned craft can't chase a hostile sub. They can't engage in deep-water operations. And they can't defend underwater infrastructure, such as undersea communication cables or pipelines. So while these platforms fill an important gap, they're not a substitute for a true undersea deterrent. And the urgency is growing, especially in light of recent events in Philippine waters. In April 2025, Rear Admiral Roy Vincent Trinidad, spokesperson for the Philippine Navy on West Philippine Sea matters, revealed something deeply alarming. 3 submersible devices had been found within Philippine waters. After forensic analysis, with assistance from the United States, the conclusion was clear: these were of Chinese origin. Their likely mission? Not weapons, but mapping the seafloor, collecting terrain data, and preparing for future operations. This is a textbook example of pre-positioning for undersea dominance, and it's happening right in our backyard. In February of the same year, Trinidad declared that the Philippines would need at least 3 submarines to credibly secure its maritime domain. The discovery of these probes only reinforces that statement. If the enemy is already operating underwater, then surface patrols and drones can only do so much. The desire to acquire submarines isn't new. In fact, President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. publicly announced in 2023 that the Philippines is actively exploring submarine acquisition. He stated that while the focus is still on developing anti-submarine warfare capabilities, the path toward acquiring a submarine is under serious consideration. Multiple countries have shown interest in helping. Among them, France has been the most prominent, offering its Scorpene-class submarines, which are already used by India, Malaysia, and Brazil. These diesel-electric attack submarines are ideal for coastal defense, offering stealth, long endurance, and compatibility with torpedoes and anti-ship missiles. But the challenge is clear: submarines are expensive. They require massive logistical support, crew training, specialized infrastructure, and long-term maintenance agreements. That's why Teodoro's statement was rooted in realism. Unmanned alternatives may not be perfect, but they're available now. In reality, this isn't a case of choosing one or the other. Modern navies around the world are moving toward hybrid fleets, combining manned warships and submarines with drones, satellites, and AI-powered unmanned platforms. The Philippines is slowly embracing this model. Through programs under Rehorizon 3, the Armed Forces of the Philippines is developing multi-layered domain awareness, which includes maritime surveillance aircraft, drones, satellites, and radar networks. Submarines will play a vital role in this vision, not just for attack or defense, but as stealth assets that can gather intelligence, escort convoys, or even launch precision strikes if needed. But until that day comes, the job of safeguarding our maritime territory falls on our current assets, and on innovative, cost-effective technologies like the T-12 Manta. As China tightens its grip on the South China Sea, as it deploys submarines, underwater probes, and AI-driven systems beneath the waves, the Philippines must ask itself, can we really afford to wait? Submarines take years to acquire, train for, and deploy. Every year without them is a year where others shape the battle space below. Teodoro's call for realism is wise, but so is preparing for the future. A smart maritime strategy doesn't rely on one platform. It combines surveillance, deterrence, and force projection across all domains: surface, air, cyber, and underwater. The journey has begun. But to truly protect our waters, our resources, and our people, we must continue that journey deeper. What do you think? Are unmanned systems enough for now, or should the Philippines accelerate its path toward acquiring submarines? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more defense updates from Pinoy Guard. This is Pinoy Guard, standing watch over Philippine sovereignty.